Hey guys, Claude here, and welcome to this new series on playing simple blues solos. So I've gotten some requests, how do I improve my phrasing? How do I play simple blues solos? So I put together a brand new ebook called How to Play Simple Blues Solos. You can download it in the video description, and I'm going to be giving you tabs in that book for all these lessons. We're going to do 7 examples of simple solos, and at each step along the way I'm going to give you some ideas and some principles that you can hopefully use. And I'm going to go deeper in the ebook about it. So definitely download that. You'll get all my concepts on this and the tabs. But let's just get started with one example. Alright, so let me break down a couple things. First of all, I want to talk about backing tracks because I think a lot of guitarists think of, when I play solos, I'm going to be soloing over a backing track, or maybe some teachers are teaching it that way. I'll just tell you my experience. When I was growing up learning guitar, I would always try to jam with the radio and stuff. And it was good in the sense that I developed my ear and really tried to play from the heart. But much later on, I really embraced the idea of just playing solo, no backing track or anything like that. It's a lot more demanding, and I think it really makes you a better guitar player, because when you're learning to play solos without anything else, you're responsible for the groove, the rhythm, the harmony, and the melody. So it's really much more of a complete approach, and I really feel that if you can do that, if you can play some riffs and some solos just on your own, you're gonna have no problem whatsoever to as far as playing over a track or with a band. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do here. I think it's gonna be useful even if you're just kind of getting started with this. Because like I said, you're just going to get more of a complete sense of how the music connects together. All right, so the most important thing is the groove. So before we even start to play the single notes, you should just get familiar with the basic pulse, okay? Because everything is going to kind of rest on that. So in, let's say, the key of A, and I'll just stop for a second and say, I just want to explain, I'm playing with a distorted tone just to switch things up a little bit, just get a little bit of hair on it. I enjoy both a clean and distorted sound. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you have distortion, you can still play these. So this is just an A7, which I'll cover in the book. So, but the basic pulse is it's like a trip, D, trip, D, trip, D. You can hold the notes trip, D, trip, and, or 1, 2, and. You can throw in a 1, triple T1, something like that. And notice the tonality, it's basically just centered around an A. It's really the first harmonic concept I want to get across to you guys, is the blues is very simple because it's going to stay on this A tonality for a long time, right? So then it goes to the D. But while it's on the A, you can build up some solos just really taking advantage of that root note. So, simple exercise. Let me give you a couple exercises. First of all, you can go up and down the pentatonic scale. if you have that groove in mind, didn't mean to put my middle finger there. If you have that groove in mind, so it's like almost like you're playing like quarter notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and you can always throw in like those little eighth note, like, you know, it's like a pickup, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So this exercise, you just, you know, kind of go up and down the scale, but you can throw in those little pickup notes, 1, 2, 3. A good place to do it is like before the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But experiment on all the beats, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it works better on the 1 and the 3 because it's like the strong beat. But whatever. So just, you know. All right. So the next thing is, let's see. Yeah, just try to sorry, lost my train of thought, but I got it back. All right, so the next exercise is just try to stay on the root. So, but you kind of mix that up with chords. D chord. Back to the 1. Okay, so you get the idea. So far, these are just like exercises to get you connecting this, like this groove and this harmony to the melody. So when I say harmony, it doesn't always mean a chord. It could just mean like sort of an implied harmony, like the tonality of the A7, and really we're gonna lean heavily on that root note. So now you can throw in, if you throw in the other notes, let's say the notes in the A7 arpeggio, that's going to give you more of the tonality. But if you keep it super simple and you're going to start to make riffs, start to put this together. All right, so just get really comfortable with that. Now, this first example, I'm using a concept that I would call like, you know, like kind of a journey and return, or it's like you're starting on the root, ending on the root. Now you can mix it up as far as riffs. Like you could start on the root and go somewhere else, or you could start on another root start at another note and then end up at the root, which we'll cover in the next example. But this first example, basically I'm just almost doing that first exercise where I'm going up and just kind of going back. I'm bending a little bit just so it's not completely boring, but it's like. And then what I'm doing here is I'm following that up with turning that into a 2-bar riff. So the second bar, I'm throwing in some chord punches, specifically on the and of 2. So it's like 1 and 2 and something like that. But I'm just kind of filling it in. So don't be afraid to fill in these 2-bar riffs with some chords. So otherwise it's going to be, could be a little bit challenging. Although a little bit later we'll go over some examples that don't do that. But for now, so the basic idea, just, you know, you're keeping the groove, you're starting on the A, walking somewhere, and then going back. And notice I'm just, you know, I do these things subconsciously, like, you know, little percussive rakes or bumps, just to kind of keep the groove and so it doesn't get too spaced out when you're playing just by yourself. Okay? Now here I change it up a little bit just to give it a little bit more of a melody that makes sense. Now notice what I did here. Did a half-step slide. So even though we're on D, there's a lot of the implied tonality of still in the key of A, which is our root. So when I slide up a half step, I'm just hitting the flat fifth. So if you're familiar with the blues scale, there's that passing note. I'm just doing it here. But I hit the D to finish the bar. Now I connect that at the end with the turnaround. I'm going to hit this. There's my 5, but I'm not just going right into it. I'm going to kind of connect it. Now the turnaround usually ends on the 5, so very simple idea, which is like I'm just still kind of noodling in the A minor pentatonic, but I'm just going to land on the 5th. So, all right, so that's your first lesson in this series for simple solos. Again, download the ebook. It's absolutely free. I'll put the link in the video description. I'll give you the tabs and some more thoughts in there. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned. We'll get groovy in the next lesson. Talk to you soon.